Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Monday workshop series. As always, every Monday, we always invite special guest speaker to share their personal journey through the spiritual life. Spirituality is a unique journey, and especially when we are talking about the soul and the self being a soul, it's a very mystical journey. And especially when we want to know something which is not comprehended by the physical mindset, it is really hard to um, to to really understand, coming from a physical perspective, something which is non-physical by nature. So on that note, one of the main power that we have is the power of understanding, power of mind, through which we try to, when we listen to somebody else's experiences with the power of mind, we get to sit in their place and then start experiencing through what they have experienced through. So I strongly recommend on this today's journey, as you listen through the experience of Brother Francis, we get to, let me add, yes, Brother Francis, um, he has been with the Baba for a good amount of time, and he is serving in the retreat center in Brazil, one of the beautiful places where Brother Ken, he's directly mentored definitely by Baba and Yagya, but along with that, he's directly mentored and sustained by Ken Bai and all the Burmese family in Brazil. So currently, Brother Ken resides in the retreat center, if I'm not mistaken. And there is a lot of beautiful family. If you know Sister Katya, who also resides there, she once came to our gathering. So we have with us Brother. Let me just turn on. Please feel free to turn on your cameras so that way we get to meet Brother Francis through Drishti. Sorry, it was disabled. Shanti, Sister Luciana. Sister Luciana is from Brazil too. She resides in San Francisco now. Yeah. So Brother Francis comes from a very interesting background. It's not that out of touch for Brahmins. He works in a very renewable energy in the solar power, how to generate energy from solar power. And one of the things that caught my attention, he was talking about renewable nature of the soul. So I was thinking about it, like, what is the renewable nature of the soul? So one thing we understand is soul is eternal. So what is it that we are trying to do? Something which is already there, right? So one of the things is it gets buried under its own sanskaras of the material world. So how can you pull yourself out? How can you bring that sparkle, the original sparkle, the diamond-like consciousness in the soul, to come back into life? So today we have with us Brother Francis to explore this very topic of how can we bring the sparkle in the soul, the sparkle being the virtues, sparkle being the power, sparkle being all the divinity, sparkle being all that deep memories that we had as an eternal souls with Baba, the most powerful, the most beautiful one. And one of the things that is brings the beauty is the purity. The more pure something is, more beautiful it is, right? How can you bring back that beauty, and how can you experience the beauty of our life in this Brahmin journey? So without any further ado, I invite Brother Francis. Welcome, Brother Francis.
Hello, everyone. Om Shanti. So many thanks from the heart to each one of you, my dear brothers and sisters. Harsha, for the invitation to be here. So for me, wherever we have, can you hear me well? Sounds okay? Sounds okay? Good. So for me, especially wherever we have an opportunity to be among Brahmins, it's a great fortune. So I always had the feeling that as much as we can exchange experience, exchange knowledge, this is something that we only can do among God's children. So for me, it's a great pleasure to be here, and also an opportunity to keep remind me all the treasure that Baba is giving through Murli, to examples from the seniors, from Brahma Baba. So how I can keep that enthusiasm, not only just when I have connection with Baba, of course, which the main source, the most powerful source in the universe that can fulfill everything that the soul needs, but also when doing service, but also when we are interacting to each other. So what I'm gonna do today, I don't have too much experience in giving nice workshops and bringing some very specific questions for reflection. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share from my experience, and also maybe you can reflect as well, because at the end, I think that everyone, when we go that in the depths of Gyan, and when we really get what Baba is giving us, is almost the same, right? So the experience that we have in recognizing the soul, recognizing God, feel that love, feel that peace, look at the condition of the world, and we are here tonight exchanging jewels of knowledge, being available in peace. So this is something that it gives me a lot of feeling of gratitude. So thanks again for together we build that atmosphere, right? So even though uh, I'm far away physically, I feel that we are very close in the same room, I would say, the same place. So I selected a couple of points from my experience as a Brahmin. So before going through each one of you, one of them, I think something that's important, because you may agree with me, right? So the spiritual knowledge is very subtle. Baba is very subtle, right? So if I'm not able to get this subtle indication, these subtle signs that the drama is giving me, that Baba is giving me, so I may be losing the opportunity to get the maximum benefit of the moment or of that situation, that could be in many different ways. So from my experience, for me to be alert, to be aware, to be checking whatever the signs that I have been receiving, the instructions that Baba has been giving the Murli, if I go in the depths of that, I really feel how much love there is behind of every single instruction, every single word, every single line of the Murli, every single detail from the Yagya. You know, when we go to Baba's place, everything's filled with love, with care, with an intention to give the same what we are receiving. So this is something that, especially in my case, when I sometimes is too much task oriented, mainly maybe because of the influence of my background, my study background. So I try to not be too much focused on the result of an activity, but also give importance more in terms of what I'm feeling, in terms of the relationships, and in terms of the quality I have been exchanging with others. So one of the three changing experience in Brahmin life for me was in terms of the life purpose, right? So I came to Guyana in 2014. I was having a very nice, everything was working very fine, very good job. And but inside, I felt that something was missing. And I didn't realize, I was not aware what was missing at that time. So I was trying to understand myself, but I couldn't. So one day I have decided to, I had the feeling inside that I need to go to somewhere, but I don't know where. So I decided to leave my job. I decided to make a very big change in my life, even though everything was fine. And then I had the feeling that I need to go, especially in terms of nature. I always loved nature. I always used to be kind of an explorer. I would love to go to the mountains, go and explore caves, scuba diving. So my search was very connected to the nature. And this is something that, in fact, this practice helped me to come closer to Baba. Because when, you know, when we are in close to nature, when we are in solitude, we can access this subtle dimension. And in a way or another, when I used to do that, I was kind of preparing myself to be in solitude. So after coming to Guyana, we know how important it is to be in solitude. So for me, it was not something very hard to do because I used to have this practice before. But what is interesting is that until the time we listen Gyan and we connect to the experience that we had, everything becomes very clear. So I had that feeling that I need to go to some place. I didn't know where. So first I decided to go to the Himalayas. So I decided to do like a 14 walking trail to the Himalayas, Everest Base Camp. It was very nice. Although I was with a small group, uh, two of them were an alpinist that they were planning to reach the summit of the Everest. In fact, they did. Four of us was just in the support team, just enjoying the walk itself until the base camp. I had so much nice experience to be in solitude, walking, enjoying the beautiful scene. But even though I was not very well connected inside. So 2 years later, I had decided to do the same. But at that time, it was in South America. So I called my blocked brother and told him, so look, I'm going for a 6 months trip. I'm going to take my backpack and I'm leaving in 2 months. So I don't know exactly where I'm going to be. I just bought a one-way ticket, but I will come back after 6 months. And he said, okay, just like that? I said, yes, just like that. So I gave him permission to handle my bank account. I gave many details from my personal life because internally I had the feeling that, oh, I can go, something can happen, I maybe cannot come back. But in the meantime, I took the Raj Yoga course. I used to go and access the websites, the internet, and for spiritual knowledge, that daily message that we receive from many different organizations. And one day I opened my email and I saw one message which really touched my heart. And then I said, where this message is coming from? It's very, very deep. It's very unique. And then when I went to the Brahma Kumaris website in Brazil, I looked where we are, where there were BK Brahma Kumari centers, and I saw that there was one center in my town, which is the town that we have the retreat place, which is a very, very small town, very small town. I said, wow, I know almost everything in this region. Where is this place? So I called the sister in the retreat center and then subscribed me for a retreat. When I came my first time to the center, I really felt that this is a unique place. Everything was very quite simple, and this question and this matter of not asking or putting a price for you to pay to participate so you can contribute to whatever you want, whatever the possibility that you have. I said, wow, this place is so unique. So 2 weeks later, I took the Raj Yoga course, which I start realizing, receiving some answers, which are understanding a little bit more the reason, all the movement I was doing. So my trip was already booked. So 2 months after to taking the course, I took a flight from Sao Paulo to Santiago in Chile, starting my journey. But after 12 days, suddenly that desire to go to some place was dissolving, was ending. So internally I decide I don't want to go to any place anymore. I want to come back and explore more meditation, to study, to understand myself, to understand God. So, in summary, after 12 days, I returned, and everyone was kind of shocked because, you told us that you'd be living for 6 months and you came after 12 days. So, my point here is that the journey that the soul was going through was a spiritual and an internal journey. So for me, it was the end of my devotion. So at that time, I have the feeling that I had a new birth. When I came back, many things start changing my life. So from that time until now, I really recognize the importance of the time. I recognize the importance of the action that I do, right? That there is an implication. And I start reflecting about my life in terms of purpose. So for me now, at this time of my Brahmin life, it's very important that I have a life that's filled with pleasure, with truth, that must be light as well. And something that I must be honest with myself. So this is all connected with the next two items, which I'm going to explore a little bit later, which the matter of getting balance in life. Because, we come to Gyan, we becoming a Brahmin, and the world is totally different. And I think the opportunity that I had to be close to the seniors, especially Brother Ken, Sister Luciana, helped me a lot because I could understand, I could see from them in a practical way how to get this life more in a balanced way. So nowadays, for me, this journey is all an aspect of find a balance between my spiritual life, my role in my community, my role in my Lock family, my role in the center. So it's kind of a combination of activities that we have to do. And I'm pretty sure that if we don't organize ourselves in a way that we can look for this balance, we can easily go to the very far away from the center that in fact what we were supposed to live. So I can give you some examples. Physical exercise. This is something that in the beginning, for the third year of my Brahmin life, I said, no, I've been walking, doing a lot of exercise. Now I don't want to spend too much time on this. Now I realize, no, how important is for me, for example, create a plan to have this balance. So how I can get a better life living as a Brahmin, that I make sure that I follow all the directions, the Shrimat from Shiv Baba, and also can keep renewing myself in terms of my enthusiasm, in terms my capacity, in terms of all the possibilities that the life is being given. So I'd like to make sure that you can have this opportunity to reflect as well, right? So some a little insights from this experience is that I don't have control in terms of the drama, but I realize that the drama has a great plan for each one of us. So if you believe, how much do you believe that drama and God has a great plan for you? So try to think, try to reflect if you are living your life in more in a limited way, in terms that you are putting the limits to make sure that you deliver whatever needs to be delivered, or if you feel that life has a great, a wonderful plan for me. God has a great plan for me that I never imagined. So how much do you have this visibility in your journey? Another aspect, if we look now what we are doing now, we are here, we are discussing, we are together, we are sharing. But right now, at this moment, God is acting in this earth, in this planet. Right now, a very silent change is happening. So how much do you have this perception during the day or during the time that we are listening something? So something wonderful is happening right now. The world is being changing, a new world is being created. So for me, this point of knowledge gives so much enthusiasm, so much energy that keeps me alert, right? That kind of give me a sense of, okay, look to this direction. Don't look to that direction. We just had a visit of one brother from UK this week here in the retreat center, and we were talking about that. So sometimes we are kind of give focus to destruction of the world, but how much focus I give in terms of the establishment of the new world. So how much do you realize that before the destruction of the world, the transformation, God is going to be revealed. We are going to have a revelation. All souls is going to get a glimpse, an experience about who they are, about God, right? In certain extension. So how much do you explore this experience? How much do you give focus on the establishment of the new world, the renewal of the new world, instead of paying attention or giving time to the news, to all the problems that's happening in the world? Another reflection that I'd like to bring. Are you conducting your life based on your highest life's purpose? Is this purpose, right, this goal, this objective, that the goal that you are having is aligned with Baba's direction? So check how much you are in this road, right? You have a purpose, you have your main principles, right? But how much you are living that on a daily basis? So how much do you stop and think, oh, is this the way that I would like to live? Do I want to live a life that is a matter of just do things according to the system, wake up, Amrit Vela, Murli, traffic control, I have to do this, I have to help in the center. Okay, this is all part of the game. It's part of the game. But how much you are being honest with yourself? So think about it. And for me, being honest with myself, it applies in something that I need to be clear and clean. You know, sometimes when we see the seniors giving class, public talks, of course, we see an example of what Baba is indicating, the level that we can reach. But I felt sometimes, in my case, I had maybe not very pure intention to be someone that I was not being. So kind of pressure internally that, okay, I must be always happy, I must be always light, I must be always available. Yes, we know that's the reference, that's the indication. But how much I recognize that, I accept that, and I bring Baba to that situation. So for me, this is also part of the path, right? Because we are on the path to become perfect, but until there, definitely, and this is something that I've been experiencing, definitely challenges and obstacles, they are gonna come. So it's a illusion to think that okay, everything's gonna be fine, okay, there will be one problem here, one situation there, but from time to time we probably are being prepared by Baba. So how much love Baba has for us, because in advance I feel that he's preparing us for the future, but with so much love, so much love. And he also says, definitely Maya is gonna try to battle with you. So this is something that gives me some lightness as well, right? Okay, Maya is coming. She's testing myself. What I have to do? I have to organize myself. I have to keep my commitment, and I have to move forward, right? So I think that uh, that state of mind is very essential for us from time to time. So let me move now to my second life-changing experience in Brahmin life, which is relationships. So for me, relationships are fundamental to a solid foundation in a collective coexistence. So we cannot live alone. Relationship is something that is very rooted in every human being. But before Guyana, right, especially in Brazil, which we have this culture of be very open heart, we have big gatherings, we have, we are very, extroverted, and we like to talk a lot. So three main things that I think it comes together when we are having a relationship among each other, right? So the matter of exchange experience is something that like we are doing now. We are exchanging experience, even though I'm the one that's speaking more, but we always want to exchange experience. Wherever we go, wherever we are, the relationship among people, from time to time, this ingredient of exchange experience is present. The second one is learning. We learn from others. We learn observing others. We learn how to adjust myself when I look others, and also support and cooperation, right? We get support, we give cooperation. But after Gyan, once we come to Gyan, so all the relationships has a new meaning, especially for me. This is something that really happen with me. So once I start realizing that all my interactions should be spiritual, even with my lucky family, my friends, my colleagues. So instead of my love decrease, instead of my concern about their well-being decrease, no. So my point here is that there is a very slight difference, a very subtle difference between I be like away from the people and be too much attached to them, but to be spiritual is that means my level of belonging, my feeling of respect, my feeling of gratitude should be there. So once we come to Baba, for me, all the relationship has changed, especially with my family, my friends, my colleagues. So Baba just said that recently in the Murli, that even among Brahmins, we should have the feeling of family, but not familiarity. So that's a very deep point, right? So what is for you to be the feeling of familiar, right? You belong to the God's family, you are interacting with your brothers and sisters divine, but there is no familiarity, right? So there is respect, there is understanding, there is a sense of each one should be in your private space internally. So from that, nowadays I feel that I've been improving this relationship, first with me, second with Baba, and third with others. But the main message through these relationships, which I've been seeing, which is very essential, especially for our Brahmi life, is how helpful, how necessary is we stay together with the Brahmi family. I'm not sure in the US, probably yes, but in Brazil and some countries in Latin America after the COVID, many students, many BKs, many brothers, they prefer to stay more in a remote way. Okay, some of them, they are not very close to the center, right? Which many cases like that, right? But if you have an opportunity from time to time to be together, to be in the center, to interact physically, to do the service together in the center, to cooperate, to organize a public talk, there is a very strong help doing that. So the power of the gathering, the power of the group, in my experience, has been helping me a lot to move forward. I remember from the early days when I used to come to the center, because it has been almost for 5 years that I've been living in the center as a resident. But the beginning, I used to come every day. And I remember at the time that I arrived in the center and I went to the classroom, to the Murli's room, how easily I was able to connect. So the cooperation from others meditating, it gave me a possibility to connect easier than bringing this experience of connection in a different way, right? Of course, if you have a very good stage of mind, experience in yoga, it doesn't matter which place we are to connect to Baba, right? No specific place, no specific time, no cost, like in 1 second, like Baba says. But there is, yes, a help if you are in an atmosphere of the center, if you are together with other Brahmins, if you are interacting, if you are doing things together, this is something that helps a lot. So I encourage you, if you have opportunity, if you have the possibility, from time to time, join retreats, stay in the center, be connected. That's something that helps a lot. For me, it's a great help from Baba, right? That's putting me in this place. So I'm being aware that I should take advantage of this help, right? If we look how much effort the seniors they are doing, the the many old ones creating bhaktis, creating online activities, all in terms of to give sustenance. So we were recently discussing how I feel I am sustained by Baba. So I'd like to make this question to you. How do you feel you have been sustained by Baba? What he's offering you, what support he's giving you, not only through the direct connection each of us have with him, but in terms of other things, right? Think about it. So how much you feel that you have been personally sustained by God. So if we look at that in a very deep level, we can realize that Baba knows me very well. He knows as I am. He knows my potential. He knows you in detail. So he definitely will give what each one of us needs. So it can maybe an answer, it can be something that is going to help me to overcome a situation. It can be many different kind of things. But if I'm not paying attention what he's offering me, what he's putting it available, I may miss the opportunity to take it. So how close do you feel Baba's company? How close do you feel Baba is with you? And when you feel that he's very close, what are the experience that you feel from this companionship? Do you feel you are protected? Do you feel you are safe? Do you feel love? Do you feel that no matter what, you will never be alone? You'll never be just alone? So how do you feel the experience that Baba is always available to you? And for me, my personal experience, especially when we try to explain to people about yoga. So last 2 weeks ago, we had a public talk here, celebration of the International Day of Yoga. And we know that easily we can go in expansion because we had some some guests, right? They were sharing the experience about yoga. It was kind of an interview. It's so easy to go and enter in all the philosophical way explanation, but my experience is that I need really experience love from Baba, real love, true love, and the feeling of belonging. So check if in your yoga practice, in your meditation, during your karma yoga, whatever, when you are interacting with Baba, how much the true love is presented, is there in this connection. How much the feeling of, wow, I have found God. God is like close to me. He's very present. He's following me. He's very concerned about the way I do things. So he's trying to prepare myself. How much do you feel that experience of belonging, love, protection? So check. Sometimes, maybe, yes, I can be absorbed in peace. I can be so much stable. My mind is very stable, very concentrated. But this ingredient of love, to feel how much love God has for me, it's very essential, which we only experience in the confluence age. So this is something that I always try to experiment. If my love is more superficial, if the feeling of okay, very comfortable, Baba is here, Baba is there, but deep love. Think how much love he has for you. How much love he has for you, how much he accepts each one of us, how much respect he gives. So not only check the quality of our yoga, our connection, but the level of energy that I've been drawing from him, right? So Baba is like the main source of, let's say, spiritual energy. And every single moment we have an opportunity to renew ourselves in terms of this energy, right? So nowadays, in a world matter, we are seeing a very big rise in terms of consumption of resource, gas, electricity, and things like that. But we know that the sun, 1 minute of the sunlight is able to deliver electricity to the entire planet for years. So the sun is there. So I need to have that ability to get the sun, to get the light, and to transform that in an energy that moves myself, to give me that food, that enthusiasm to move forward. So my experience is that many times my connection is there, my yoga is there, but my energy is not being so much renewed. Like, so there is no much power in this current. So I check again, what's the problem? I'm not open enough. My mind is not dedicated enough. There is always something that can break, can interrupt this flow, this current of energy that we receive from Baba. And the third life-changing experience that I'd like to bring here, which I think it's important also from time to time to take a look, because okay, we come to Gyan, we become a Brahmin, and then we start in this path. But how do I feel I'm having balance in life? Or how much sustenance I've been giving to my spiritual development? So we know that it's very easy to, let's say, decide to, okay, I'm gonna open a company, a business, but how to sustain that business? Okay, I'm gonna want to create a family. I want to have a family. I want to build a house, and we are gonna live together. But how much effort I need to sustain that? So the terms of sustenance is very essential. It's very important from time to time to take a look if I'm feeding exactly what is aligned with my principles, my purpose, the way that I would like to live my Brahmin life. So for me, one thing that's important, which is to pay attention, which I already mentioned, to learn from others, to make sure that I get what the seniors have to offer. They are the ones that have been following this path much more time. I don't have Brahma Baba in front of me to see, to follow his steps, even though we have a lot of material. But when we observe, when we look, real people behaving, we can understand, we can learn very good, much better, especially my way of learning. So this opportunity to be with the Brahmin family, the seniors, to other brothers and sisters, is one aspect of really get sustenance from Baba. So Baba says that he has 1,000 arms, right? And he can give me something from that someone is going to be the instrument, or something's going to be the instrument. So it's kind of Baba is embracing me in 360 degrees, several ways, to make sure that I receive his energy, his love, his care, his protection, knowledge, his pure feelings towards me. So interacting with other Brahmins. Second thing for me, I think it's very essential, is to make sure that I keep in a way connected with the world. So I have a lot job, and for me, the local job is an opportunity to create bridges, to try to bring other souls to the center, to Baba, to understand what are really the challenges that the people they are having in a real life, right? We are in a different world. we are almost, it's totally different reality. We do not suffer as much as people they are suffering. So for me, my experience is that if I'm there in a way or another to listen them, to live how they are facing challenges in their lives, I can serve better. So I can uh, organize the way that we are going to deliver what Baba is giving me to them. So this opportunity to interact, to have a luck job, for me is part of my balance in Brahmin life. Physical exercise, this is something also which is very important. Here in the retreat center, for the past 10 months, we are having a personal trainer that comes, and four of us, even brother Ken, it's amazing how, even though about his age, the body is not 100%, but how the soul has this enthusiasm, this uh, perception to do it together and to take care of the body. So, and this is something that is doing very well. Twice a week, for 1 hour, we do some physical exercise, and on the weekend, we go for short walks. There is a very nice nature around here. So we feel that physical exercise is very important for for me living more in a balanced way, right? And as I said, the opportunity to do service. So service is something that keep us moving the energy of the soul, like Baba said, the instant fruit. So, but what was interesting is that during the pandemic, so at that time you had no retreats. So I felt that, okay, service is good. Service is like Baba said, is the breath of the Brahmin life. But I should organize myself to not be dependent on service. So my stage should not be impacted if there is no service like public talks, retreats, course happening. So that was something that brought me attention that, okay, Mansa Seva is important, but how I move, keeping that energy, keeping that that flame alive, right? Like we have our own flame. We have the yagya, the big flame, but how I keep my flame alive when there is no service happening. So imagine we used to have like 4 retreats a month, every weekend. Many people coming, very nice, receiving people, but suddenly no retreats, no service, because we are a little bit far away from the town. It's different that a center in big cities that, okay, you can open for half an hour. So I should not be too much dependent on doing service, okay? I need to prepare myself. I need to be available. I need to be ready to accept whatever opportunity, even though if I'm not familiar to that with that task, right? But there will be a time that we may not have that intensity, or maybe not. Maybe we will have, right? Of course, there will be a time that, like Baba said, you will not be able even to sleep. But my point is, here it is, um, service should not be something that it depends on my stage. So my connection with Baba, my intellect should be in a level that I do not fluctuate in terms of not be too much task oriented, to not too much involved on a physical action. So with that, I would like to ask you, how do you feel when you are doing service, any kind of service, the center, your place, you are in the position of to be an agent, right? So you are this bridge that you are being an instrument to get from Baba and to deliver to others, right? It could be a single task, could be anything. How do you feel? And how do you feel when you don't have any service to do? You, okay, everything is organized well. There is no internet connection for you to check emails or to see social medias or try to improve the web page or work in advance organizing the next program. You, how do you feel? Do you start looking for something to do, or are you able to enjoy that moment, to take advantage of that moment, be with Baba, stay in solitude, even though you are having more time? You have 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. So how do you feel? How, where do your mind go? So this is something that the COVID pandemic brought us to think about it, right? So service can be very tricky, right? I can really be involved to really deliver what needs to be delivered. But in my experience, I found myself okay doing service, but kind of in a way that I need to be active, like, when we are so much oriented to action. So at that time, even though I was trying to do karma yoga, okay, but a little difference that to be dependent on the physical interaction, on the physical action. So for me, it was a very great learning, because Baba said that as we move closer to the end, we need to have an unlimited intellect. So I need to have the feeling that I am in the subtle region. It doesn't matter too much about which place I am, if I'm at home, if I'm the retreat center, if I am Madhuban. I need to develop that ability of an unlimited intellect and make sure that my vibrations, my pure feelings of love, of peace, reach all souls to the entire world. So from that time, I start paying more attention to this experience, and this is helped me to develop more this kind of practice. So I would like now to invite everyone to do this. So let's make sure that the experience that we are having now to be very peaceful here at this moment. I am comfortable in my place. I feel stable. I feel that I have the great support. I have access to connect to the most powerful being in the universe, Baba, the Almighty Authority, this ocean of love. In 1 second, any moment, anywhere, anytime, I get on his hand, I hold his hand, I connect to this pillar of stability. It doesn't matter what's happening around me, I feel safe. I feel protected. But also, I want other souls to experience the same. So the same experience that I'm having right now. My intention is that every single soul, part of the universal family, receive rays and vibrations of the same experience that I'm having right now. The elements of nature, they receive peace, love, they receive this flow of energy coming from the source, and I'm in the middle of this flow as at the same time I receive this current of light from Baba. I replicate, I distribute to everyone. Então, let's visualize a constellation of stars interconnected to each other, but main connection up above. So I can experience peace, stability, and also I can contribute, cooperate, allowing others to have peace of mind, comfort in their hearts. If I'm able to give a message to them using my mind, I can say, you are not alone. So giving this sign of hope, I make sure that everyone can receive this experience of peace and love. So those were few thoughts that I had to share today. Um, I hope at least something that can be helpful to you. And now I pass through Brother Harsha to see if there's any question, any comment, or whatever we need to do next.
Thank you very much, Brother Francis. This was a beautiful sharing. And if anyone have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. If you have any comments, feel free to unmute. So I really like the journey, which I was just trying to visualize the whole journey. So you started your spiritual journey, you started going to the nature more, right? And then in the nature, you get to experience a lot of solitude. And in solitude, the separation started happening, like what was triggering and all of the stuff. Solitude helps to separate your pure self and all this triggered self. And when there is a window, you visited Baba's center, you got some gyans, you got some clarity. And then once you got some clarity, and then you started moving forward. And then as you're going through, there is a pandemic, which is like a forced silence from service.
Yeah.
And in the whole sanskara of going into the solitude, and now with much more understanding, much more experience, right? Solitude, being in connection with the family and Yagya and Baba, and at the same time, not being too much absorbed in this worldly actions, world of actions and interactions, and and now if you try to see the contrast between the beginning of the spiritual journey, where without gyan going into solitude, having gyan, and then with gyan, with all the relationship, and then going into solitude, it takes you to the next level altogether. And it's really beautiful what you asked us, the reflection part around how do you see the how do you feel yourself when there is not much to do, not much to share, right? And not much to share in the physical realm. And how do you be serving at that time? How do you be feeling what you feel when there is not much to do the service, and then serving from your own just presence?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. Sister
Yeah.
Romina, would you like to share anything? Yes, Brother Francis.
Hi guys, good evening. I wanted to thank you, Brother Francis, for sharing your journey with us. And also what I keep is the part of balance of how it's so important to create and tend to that and to be aware of that. So thank you for that reminder.
Thank you.
And definitely with the balance of the body, uh, the physical realm, and also and beyond. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
body, relationships, and your spiritual self. Yeah. Let's see Sister Sukanya here. Sister Sukanya, I think you might have met her in Peace Village.
I remember her face. We haven't talked, but I
Yeah.
remember her face is
So, Brother Francis, the one point you shared about sustaining whatever you start with your principles, with with whatever you resonate with in the knowledge, that is very important. How do we sustain? Because to sustain something needs energy, needs strength. To start something is one thing, but to sustain. So really liked it. And yeah, you emphasized it. So that was very good.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I think that if you apply that in many different perspectives, let's suppose we have a project. Let's implement a project. Okay, we can have an idea, but how I'm gonna implement that later? How I'm gonna develop the conditions to that plan, to that project being, executed. So I've been trying to, okay, not having too many ideas, right? And not several nice projects or plans, but hold something and make sure that I sustain that and move forward with that principle. So less is more, right? But sometimes, especially in my case, in the past, I was many times kind of lost. I was so excited about the possibilities to do many things, but then from time to time, I learned, okay, like Baba said, have the perception of the three aspects of the time. Nowadays, everything it requires a lot of effort. You may there probably know the retreat center in Nanubuti, even one house is very complicated maintenance and everything. Imagine a retreat place, which is a big area. It requires a lot of maintenance and the matter is becoming more thermopradhan. So nowadays, people like here in Brazil, which used to have big house, now they are realizing that I need one small house, very simple. It does not cost too much and less maintenance. So that's something that I've been learning, and it's working.
Oh, very good, practical. And I see that this is kind of a wave that is catching up. People are realizing that's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, there is a lot of simplification that is happening in the personal lives, and also then we even see even in the Brahmin lives also, like because are more inspired uh, by more towards bhaktis, more towards building a healthy relationship within the BK family, not just based on like, oh, you need to do this project, let's do this thing projects. Sometimes we come together, and then seva brings us together. That is a healthy way, but definitely it should not be just seva that should bring the family together, because afterwards there won't be any seva. But if there is nothing between the souls that brings them together, there won't be golden age.
Yeah.
Golden age, there is no seva.
Yeah,
Golden age, you enjoy each one's company. If you don't enjoy each one's company, then what is the point?
that's true. I remember once Sister Jayami came to Brazil, the last time, in fact, because I'm sure she came many other times with Daddy Junkie, but I was not there. She said one thing that one of the main service is people look the way that the Brahmins interact to each other.
That's true. That is true. That is
Right?
where big service starts happening. And then
And sometimes it's not just a matter of do things here. I never will forget what you said. The people, they look the way that you interact with each other, and this could be a very good or a not very good service.
that's it. People want to get inspired, and then that's what they want to see. Is there love in the family? And if there is not love, there is enough gyan. Thank you very much. I can get a lot more on TED Talks and YouTubes. Lot more inspiring stuff.
Yeah.
Very true. And then I really like the point where you, and I might be reiterating the point, where you get to be yourself, and when you're really full and content, and then you're just exuding that energy, you're just putting out that energy more and more. And without, like, I think in today's Murli Baba was telling, you being happy, you're doing a lot more service.
Mhm.
You being happy, doing a lot more service, you're just putting out a lot more blissful energy. And then it just uplifts the other person, whoever is in touch with you. And and the best way to be happy is like get in touch with your pure self and enjoy Baba's company, and not as a practice, not as a meditation, not as a bhakti,
Yeah.
not as a maryadas, not because somebody tells you to do so. When you start enjoying being yourself and enjoying that pure connection with Baba, and that happiness, that joy naturally exudes. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing. And I know it is getting late for you. It is midnight, I think, in Brazil.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for taking some time out with the family, and take a minute to meditate, and then we can wrap up.
Okay, thank you, and have each one of you wonderful experience in your Brahmin life, and hope to meet each one of you, whatever, maybe US, Madhuban, or you are all invited to come to Brazil.